All right, today is the day we are finally going to start putting up the vapor barrier. What we're doing right now is just trying to get the walls and the space around here as clean up as possible, so that we can just roll it out and make the cuts that we need to and staple it on and get that all done and out of the way. So we're going to start on this half of the house. We're going to wrap around as far as we can, and then there's some material over here that we'll then need to move onto that side so that we can finish off on this side. What we're going to be trying to do, and I'll show you this in closer detail later, between the first floor and the second floor, we're going to overlap the vapor barrier up through the floor joist there. I made sure that I left enough of a gap so that we can actually tuck our hand up inside, make sure we have good continuity. We'll glue off all of the joints onto the concrete floor and all of the knee walls using acoustical sealant. And then we're also going to tape any seams between it so that it's like an enclosed system. So that's what we're going to get started working on today. But first, we got to go move a whole bunch of stuff out of the way. Look at this stuff.
That's like a nice membrane.
It's like a.
It's definitely thicker than poly.
It's like a pool liner.
Yeah.
Wanna go for a swim?
Ooh, not right now.
Okay, well, day one of vapor barrier is done. It's not the end of the day, but I ran into some confusion as to how exactly I'm going to transition the vapor barrier from the main level up to the second floor. Specifically on the sides here, where, get over here without smashing into anything. You can see up above me, this is an awful angle. The wall is gonna go straight up here, and then there's that cavity there, and we struggle to figure out how exactly we're gonna get the vapor barrier to shoot up to the second floor and actually be able to seal it, to tape or to glue the vapor barrier to the sides of the joist, because it needs to be a closed envelope. You need to keep it as tight as possible. And I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that. And so I've called the building inspector. He's going to be coming by tomorrow afternoon, which means that tomorrow we're gonna start up on the second floor, and we're just gonna kind of ignore the transition for now, and then we'll add that in after the fact. So tomorrow we'll get back upstairs, or we'll get upstairs. We'll keep going with the vapor barrier, and I think that we'll be able to get the bulk of it done tomorrow. The upstairs is gonna be so much easier. There's just there's three skylights. There's no dormers, there's no knee walls to worry about. It's gonna go really fast, I think. And so by tomorrow, I think the second floor will be all vapor barriered in up until the collar ties, because above the collar ties, I still haven't finished the insulation or the plywood, but we don't need to have that all done before we can build the walls. And so, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Tomorrow, gonna vapor barrier upstairs, get the final word from the building inspector, and hopefully he tells me exactly what needs to happen so that when he comes to inspect it, we don't fail. So anyway, I'm excited. Today went way better than I thought it was going to. Like I've never installed vapor barrier on a new build, so I didn't know how it was gonna go, how long it was gonna take. And I think it went really well. So we still have to tape off all of the seams. and we still have to glue the sheets down to the actual cement floor and around the window openings and stuff like that. But putting them up, it's actually really quick. And the only downside is that I'm absolutely frozen. It is so cold outside, and it wasn't a physically exhausting day. It was just like standing around, sitting on the floor to staple it, and I am exhausted, and I'm gonna go home and sit in front of the fireplace to warm up. Okay, that was actually not nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It worked out really well that from the floor to the bottom of the collar tie, one roll would fit. Now, I think that, yeah, I didn't put it on perfectly level, so here I've got a nice overlap that I can glue into the subfloor. But as we go down there, it starts to rise up a little bit, so I think there's going to be some areas where I'm going to have to add a transition strip so that I can glue it down to the subfloor really well. But that was fairly seamless. Now what I'm going to do is everything, all the junk that's on this side of the house, I'm now going to move it back over here so I can roll out that side as well, and then I'll tie in both at the gable ends. Well, that was the part that I thought was going to be impossible for me to do alone, but the main part of both walls up here are finished, so now I can move on to the two gable ends, throw a few pieces on there, and then, yeah, the building inspector, he should be here within an hour to an hour and a half to let me know about the main floor. I have an idea for how to do it, and I just have to get him to stamp it to say that, yep, that'll be good to go. So let's. I think I've got some scraps downstairs that I can use for the corners on the ends and across the top. So I'm gonna head downstairs, see if there's any big enough scraps, and then keep going. Yesterday afternoon, our building inspector came by, and as we were looking at how we're going to transition the Vapour Bear from the main floor to the second, he said, why don't you just run it up between the joists and just tape it off, which was our plan A all along. But when we actually got to it, when we went to go put that first piece in, I just had second thoughts. I was like, I don't know if this is even going to be legitimate. And so he came and he said, I would just do that. So that's what we're going to do. I just rolled out the entire length of the house here and then tore the roll in half, which we had been cutting it for a while. And then Marcus said, or I think it was an accident. He had started to cut and give it a tear, and it peeled right along the fold. So that was way easier. Just tore the roll right in half. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to just lay it down, and then I have to try to line up where the trusses are going to be on the floor. And I think to do that, I'm just going to have to look up to the ceiling, and as best as I can, make a slit, leaving about 6 inches of it so that I can have it overlapping up onto the second floor, but the rest of it will just go down to the bottom. And we're probably going to have way more overlap in the bottom than is required. But I'd rather get as much down there as possible so that I have more flexibility when it comes to taping it off. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully it's that simple. Likely won't be, but whatever. Let's go for it. I just went around and stuffed as much of the vapor barrier between the gap that I left from the edge of the subfloor and where the sheeting meets. It was pretty easy on this end, but over there I didn't leave a big enough gap. It was pretty tight. So I'm going to go downstairs and see if I can reach up inside and pull it down and just yank as much of it down as I can before I come up and staple this off so it's level, and then just pull down all the excess, I think is how it will go. So let's head downstairs and see what we can find. Okay. That's good news. You can see another little piece here. Excellent. Great, so now what I'll do, staple this off, but then as it runs along the joist on either side, we'll just tape it off here. And that will be good enough for our purposes. There we go. Let's keep going. I am very pleased. This is going to be a very tightly sealed house, I think. I didn't cut those ones, so I should go up there right now and give those a trim and adjust this a little bit. All right, yeah, we can see that the house wrap's all been pulled down there, and so now I'll be able to pull this up, staple it, and then tape along that seam. Then it'll be continuous all the way down to the main floor. Yeah! Okay, that worked really well. Excellent! Woo! All right, let's get the stapler. Staple this off, and then I guess, well, okay, so here's what we'll do. I'm gonna staple this off. Then I think it makes sense for me to do both end walls, and then grab all this material, move it back over here, do that one more strip, and then I'm essentially done all of the house wrap that I have to do before I can start framing the walls. Which is really, really weird to say out loud. That's a wrap for today, I think. Yeah, tomorrow we'll put this one in. We'll tape this off, put a few strips at the top, tape those, and there's a few more seams downstairs I need to get. A few pieces added here and there, but I think tomorrow we'll be able to tape off most of the vapor barrier, which means on Monday, I don't think there'll be anything stopping me from framing the first set of walls downstairs. So that's awesome. You see me? All blue. Let's go have some fun. Well, it is Friday. Not done all of the vapor barrier, but everything that's behind me here is taped off. I still have to use the acoustical sealant to seal everything down to the floor, but the wall itself, around the knee walls and the windows and everything, is taped off and sealed. Still have to do a little bit on this side around the knee walls, again at the base. And then on this side, I still have to actually tuck in the piece that comes from the second level down to this main one. So still have all that work left to do and all the taping on this side. So we're not gonna start framing walls on Monday. The taping was really meticulous and it's taking me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. But that's fine. Monday will come up, I'll drape that sheet down, and then I think that we'll be able to maybe start framing midweek. I still have a few more pieces of poly to install. For instance, on the dormer ceiling there, and then inside this dormer over here, there's no vapor barrier yet because there's a plumbing vent that needs to get installed still. So I wanted to hold off on that so I'm not getting in the plumber's way. But really productive week. I'm really happy with this progress. And a little treat that I gave myself was some heat in the form of my propane buddy heater. I had this in the shed all of last winter, and now I've been using it today inside of the house, and it feels like, I mean, it's negative, well, I don't know what it is anymore. This morning it was -10 outside Celsius, which is cold enough to make my beard have icicles when I'm milking the cow. Let's put it that way. So brought that in here, and I've been wearing just a sweater today, and it's been wonderful. And to keep myself safe, I brought a carbon monoxide detector because, you know, don't want to get carbon monoxide poisoning. So anyway, enough rambling. I'm heading home right now, and we'll be back on Monday to keep going on this vapor barrier so we can finally get framing the walls. Tired. It is a miserable, windy day. It snows all over the place, and I'm just struggling today to just find the motivation to just do anything. I got in from milking the cow, and Katie and I sat down at the table, and I was like, what are we doing? It just we want to live in this house so bad, and I know the finish line is coming. I just feel so far away though, and I'm just tired. It's Monday morning. My hope was I would be framing walls this week, and I still think that that's gonna happen. I think Katie's coming up today too for a little bit to help me tape off some of the vapor barrier. And yeah, let's see what happens. By the end of the day, it'd be great. It'd be great if the vapor barrier was tied in. So that's the motivation. So let's go. Well, that was a really fun way to spend a morning. Having Katie come up here to help on a day when I was feeling like just unmotivated and like I just don't want to be building a house at this moment in time. It was really nice having Katie here. We got most of this wall over here finished. There's a little bit left to do over here. This wall over here is mostly finished as well. There's a little bit at the top to do. But it was really good. It's like dark in here. It's 3 in the afternoon today. What is it? Yeah, it's 3 in the afternoon. It's like, it's overcast, so there's like no sunlight coming in. It's dark, which is why I've got a little lantern on down there, because right now I'm getting ready to glue the vapor barrier down to the concrete slab. This is what our process is gonna be. I have our shop vac there ready to go. I'm gonna go around and vacuum the entire perimeter because to glue it down, we're gonna be using this acoustical sealant for vapor and soundproofing. So what we're gonna do, go around, vacuum the entire perimeter, like one section at a time. Then after I do that, I'm going to go around, put a bead of this caulking down along the concrete and then press the actual vapor barrier down into it. And what that's gonna do is provide a consistent barrier from the wall all the way down to the flooring. I need to vacuum it because there's sawdust, there's insulation dust, there's just stuff all over the floor and it won't adhere properly if I don't clean it first. So I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna vacuum a portion, glue down a portion, and then vacuum a portion, glue down a portion, all the way around the perimeter of the house. When that's all done, this main level will be ready for us to start putting the walls up. It's not finished, like right behind me now, I can see there's a spot where I need to put some vapor barrier and tape, but there's no walls going there. And I wanna get the walls up because, excuse me, I wanna get the walls up because then I can actually get the contractors in to start doing the other stuff, the electrical, the plumbing, the HRV, all those different things. And while they're working on that, I can be doing these odds and ends, taping around the outlets, taping off the joints that are up there, finishing the insulation at the peak, because that's still not done yet, but there's no walls that extend all the way to the peak. And so anyway, right now, for the next little while, for the sunlight that I have left, for the little light that I have, I'm gonna go around, vacuum, glue, vacuum, glue. Let's see how far we can get. I haven't seen this concrete. I don't know why I'm so excited. Since the day I brought all this plywood in here and the straps broke on the plywood and I almost knocked out all of the plumbing and there was ice everywhere. I'm so happy because I'm just like, we've come so far. I'm gonna vacuum this up because Katie's gonna be here soon. Let's go. Today we're gonna start framing the interior walls and I'm really looking forward to this.